They said they loved you, but Archangel Michael knows the truth before this weekend. You must decide, family or truth. Don't tell anyone. Heaven has issued a summons, one not written in ink but etched upon the soul. You have felt it, the invisible pressure building in your chest. You have sensed the urgency in your dreams, the tightening of spiritual tension around your name. This is no ordinary moment. This is no ordinary weekend. This is a divine threshold. Archangel Michael, God's appointed warrior, has come bearing revelation for your ears only. What is about to unfold had been hidden under layers of pretense, camouflaged beneath the language of love and the performance of family unity. But now the veil has lifted. You were told you were loved. Words were spoken, smiles were given, arms were extended, but heaven has heard what they said when the door closed. Heaven has heard what they whispered when they thought you weren't listening. And heaven has heard your cry. The false light that has tried to blind you is flickering out. The time of decision is not months from now, not next year, not when it's convenient. No, the divine clock is ticking, and the hand of God has drawn a line that cannot be crossed without consequence. This message is not for the curious. This is not a public broadcast for wandering ears. This message is for the chosen, those marked by destiny, those called to carry truth even when truth costs everything. You are that one. And now you must choose. Some love looks like protection, but feels like control. Some I love yous are laced with manipulation. And Archangel Michael says to you now, you must discern what is spoken from what is spiritual. You must separate what is familiar from what is divine. Blood may run thick, but truth runs eternal. What you decide in the hidden places of your heart will echo through generations. Remain silent. Say nothing to those who probe. What you do now must be sacred. What you release must be spirit-led. Because not all love is pure, and not all connections are holy. The Spirit of truth is standing beside you, and Archangel Michael is guarding your right to choose. This is the line. This is the moment. Choose truth. Archangel Michael speaks, not with the sound of thunder, but with the unshakable authority of heaven's justice. His voice moves like a sword through the fog of confusion, and he calls you now. By sundown Friday, you must choose. The time of tolerating half-truths is over. The season of pretending for the sake of peace has ended. What was hidden hath been exposed, and what you know in your spirit can no longer be ignored. You feel it, don't you? The urgency humming in the atmosphere, the quickening in your chest, the sense that you are being summoned into a confrontation you didn't ask for, but were born to walk through. This is not merely a family drama. This is not just tension around a dinner table. This is not just awkward silences in familiar places. This is a divine trial. This is spiritual court. And you, chosen one, are standing in the middle of heaven's verdict. Archangel Michael has pierced the veil of appearances. What man has covered, God has uncovered. What was done in the dark is now under divine inspection. You are being shown what you were not ready to see before. Not through gossip, not through hearsay, but through revelation. Through discernment. Through that still, sharp voice that whispers at midnight and won't let you sleep. In the next 48 hours, says Michael, you'll be tested. I will come to you with smiles, with familiar language, with phrases that once comforted you. But you will feel the hollowness. You will feel the performance. This is your divine summons. This is the moment to confront the lie of false peace disguised as family love. You have been taught to keep the peace. You have been conditioned to silence your voice for the sake of unity. But heaven is not interested in your performance. Heaven is invested in your purpose. and your purpose cannot be fulfilled in an atmosphere of illusion. The truth has been knocking. Now it is pounding. You hear it in the silence. You feel it in the weight of unspoken words. You've smiled through moments that broke your heart. You've excused behavior that God called manipulation. You've protected those who would never protect you. But Archangel Michael is tearing the veil. And what you have tolerated is being judged, not by man, but by God. God is not the author of confusion. He is the revealer of hearts. And your heart has already discerned what your mind is still processing. That is why the tension is unbearable. That is why the smiles feel thin. That is why your spirit grows restless in rooms you used to find comfort in. Because truth is breaking in. Because the illusion is being dismantled. You may be tempted to explain, to defend, to try once again to make peace. But Archangel Michael says to you, your silence is not weakness. It is spiritual obedience. Your silence is holy. It is your agreement with heaven, not with man. Do not seek to be understood by those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Do not cast your pearls before the ones who have trampled your voice in the past. This weekend, the heavens are watching. Angels are dispatched. The Spirit is guiding. You must not delay. You must not waver. Choose truth. Choose purpose. Choose the mantle that has been resting on your shoulders since you were born. There is no more time to wonder. The line is drawn. The choice is clear. Heaven waits for your yes. Let them misunderstand you. Let them label you. But let God exalt you. For in your obedience, there is deliverance. In your silence, there is strength. And in your decision, there is divine alignment. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. You noticed it, didn't you? The shift in their eyes when your spirit began to awaken. The tone of their voice when you started questioning the unspoken rules. The long silences, the sudden changes, the subtle coldness cloaked in politeness. They say they love you, but love does not look like silence when you're in pain. Love does not feel like performance when you're in the room. And love certainly does not twist truth into manipulation. Archangel Michael comes to confirm what you've been feeling but couldn't quite say out loud. Something is off. The tension in the room is real. The shift in energy is real. The awkward glances, the whispered conversations behind closed doors, the way your name feels heavier in their mouth than their affection ever did, it's all real. What they say and what they mean are not the same. What they speak and what they spiritually project are at war. Someone has betrayed truth to preserve image. Someone who once called you precious now sees you as a problem. You see, truth makes liars uncomfortable. Freedom exposes controllers. And your rising authenticity has become an alarm in their kingdom of control. You never asked to be the problem. But when you stopped pretending, you became one. You didn't rebel. You simply evolved. And that was their greatest fear. Family gatherings feel different now, don't they? There's a hollowness to them. Like everyone's reading from a script they didn't write. Like smiles are stretched too wide and laughter sounds slightly off-key. You're not imagining it. Archangel Michael says, they know something but not all. They know you've changed. They know you're awakening, but they don't know how deep your calling runs. They don't know how much truth you've seen, and that ignorance makes them afraid. Your soul is detecting deception, and it's not paranoia, it's perception. You have been anointed with spiritual eyes that see beyond the visible. You sense when words are masks. You feel when hugs are hollow. You discern when affection is forced. And that discernment is not a burden, it is your divine compass. What others excuse, you feel. What others overlook, you hear in your spirit. And that sensitivity is your superpower. Archangel Michael confirms what you feared to admit. The person who once held your hand in storms may now be holding your name in judgment behind your back. The one who once called you beloved may now see you as disobedient, not because you've sinned, but because you chose truth over tradition. And in households built on appearances, truth is rebellion. But do not weep. Do not panic. Do not shrink. What is being shaken was never secure. What is being exposed was never eternal. What you're feeling is not just emotional disruption. It is spiritual awakening. God is shaking the foundations of false love. He is revealing what's been hidden beneath polite lies. He is cleansing your soul of generational manipulation. And though the process is painful, it is holy. You must resist the temptation to defend your heart. Let them speak. Let them guess. Let them create their stories. Heaven knows the truth. Heaven has recorded every tear, every moment of betrayal you swallowed in silence. Heaven has seen the gaslighting, the emotional distance, the way they turn spiritual insight into rebellion in their eyes. But heaven also sees your strength, and heaven is with you. This is your time to stand in your knowing. You are not imagining it. You are not being dramatic. You are discerning the unraveling of false attachments. And Archangel Michael stands by you, sword drawn, guarding your emotional clarity. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1516 is now activated. Hear this now with divine clarity. This is not just dysfunction. It is spiritual warfare. You are not simply navigating difficult personalities. You are confronting principalities. The conflict you are facing is not merely about family disagreements. It is about spiritual alignment, holy assignments, and breaking chains that have bound bloodlines for generations. You are not just feeling pain, you are breaking patterns. Archangel Michael declares, the enemy wants to keep you loyal to what's hurting you. He wants you to remain emotionally entangled with manipulation masquerading as love. He wants you to stay seated at tables where your spirit is starved. He wants you to keep choosing peace on the outside while warring within. But God is calling you higher, and that calling is colliding with every lie you were ever told about family loyalty. Heaven sees you, torn between love and liberation, torn between honoring those who raised you and honoring the voice of truth rising within you, torn between being the peacemaker and being the prophet. But you must know this. You are not dishonoring your family by honoring God. You are not betraying them by choosing truth. You are breaking a demonic agreement that confusion must be covered with politeness. They call it keeping the peace, but it is really a command to stay silent. They say don't rock the boat, but they are ignoring the fact that the boat is sinking. And Archangel Michael says, you were never called to sink with them. You were called to walk on water. This conflict is a sign that your elevation has begun. The shaking is confirmation. The disruption is evidence. Heaven is not angry at your struggle. Heaven is proud of your obedience. Every moment you bit your tongue instead of fighting in the flesh, heaven recorded. Every night you cried alone rather than lash out, heaven applauded. Every time you chose silence over retaliation, God took notice. Every silent night has recorded your faithfulness. Michael whispers now, you are being purified through this separation. This is your refining fire. This is your sanctification. This is your exodus from bondage disguised as family loyalty. And though it feels like loss, it is truly deliverance. What you walk away from now, God will multiply in divine relationships later. You are not losing family. You are finding purpose. Let the spiritual war rage, because you have already won. You're not fighting with flesh and blood. You're being set free from generational agreements that were never God-ordained. And Archangel Michael is stationed beside you, sword drawn, declaring, you shall not return to what I have called you out from. Type I walk in truth in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 828 is now covering your path. Be on guard. Be alert in the spirit. For the atmosphere is shifting again. A storm is rising, not of wind and rain, but of words and emotions. The Holy Spirit says to you now, within 72 hours, a message is being drafted. A confrontation is being planned. Someone in your bloodline is preparing a demand disguised as a conversation. They will speak with soft voices, but their motives will shout. What they bring to you will not be about reconciliation. It will be about control. Heaven has intercepted their intent before their mouths have moved. Archangel Michael reveals, they will come under the banner of love, but the true motive is dominion. The words will seem sweet, but the spirit behind them will be heavy. They will pretend it's about connection, but it's about compliance. Be wise. Be unmoved. Because the enemy knows you are moments from breaking free, and he will use the voice most familiar to you to try and tether you again. There will be phrases like, we just want to talk, or why are you being distant? But the spirit within you will feel the interrogation. Your discernment will flare like fire when they begin to speak. This is not paranoia. This is prophecy. You are being forewarned so that you will not fold under emotional pressure. Your reply, your reaction, your spiritual posture in this moment will shift your entire future. Do not answer in anger. Do not be baited into reaction. Archangel Michael stands beside you and says, respond in truth. Respond with clarity. Respond from alignment. For you are not stepping backward into a cycle. You are stepping forward into destiny. This confrontation is not your enemy. It is your exodus. What they bring is not punishment. It is proof that the chains are breaking. You are no longer controllable, and they feel it. In this hour, silence is your weapon. Stillness is your warfare. When they speak, listen, not to their words but to the spirit behind them. Observe their eyes. Listen to the tone. Look past the language and into the atmosphere. You are not being asked to explain. You are being asked to endure. Not everything requires your defense. Not every message deserves your engagement. You are being trained to move in the spirit, not the flesh. This is your test. This is your spiritual drill. The emotional demand is coming, but you will not be shaken. Archangel Michael says, delay no longer. The window of decision is closing. If you engage from your soul, you will be drained. But if you move from your spirit, you will rise. You must choose now who will have the final say, God or guilt, heaven or heritage, calling or comfort. Let them accuse. Let them question. Let them interpret your silence however they want. Because heaven knows your heart, and heaven has given you this moment. Do not step backward to soothe their insecurity. Do not contort your truth to match their illusion. You owe them no performance. You owe God your obedience. The storm is not to destroy you, it is to reveal you. It is to draw out of you the authority that had been sleeping beneath fear. It is to awaken the fire you have tried to hide beneath loyalty. They are coming to challenge you, but heaven has already crowned you, and the throne of your future cannot be shared with those who live in pretense. Type "I am unmovable" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7777 is securing your emotions. Archangel Michael declares over you now, do not explain what heaven already knows. The time for justification has passed. The hour of self-defense is over. The God who sees in secret has witnessed it all, and he says to you, be still. I am fighting battles you cannot see. This is the moment to retreat, not in fear, but in faith. Not in surrender, but in strategy. Your silence is not weakness. Your withdrawal is not defeat. It is divine positioning. You are not required to clarify your boundaries to those who refuse to honor them in the first place. You are not required to educate those who weaponize your honesty against you. God says withdraw, not as a victim, but as a warrior. Withdraw from their games. Withdraw from their emotional traps. Withdraw from the guilt that no longer belongs to you. This is your sacred detachment. The voices of manipulation will scream that you are being cold, rebellious, dramatic. But the Spirit says, you are being obedient. Heaven does not require you to debate demons. You are not called to prove truth to those who have already chosen deception. This battle is not yours. It belongs to the Lord. And Michael's sword has already been drawn. Fast. Pray. Do not engage emotionally with the snares set before you. Watch them. Not with judgment, but with clarity. Their actions will tell you more than their words ever did. Their reactions to your silence will reveal their true motives. Let your quiet be your confirmation. They will think they've won when you go silent. They will smirk. They will gather with others and talk about how you've changed. Let them. For your silence is the thunder of the chosen. Your refusal to participate is your roar. You are not retreating. You are reigning from a higher place. Heaven is your courtroom now, and the judge has ruled in your favor. Archangel Michael places his wing around you now and says, they can no longer reach you where you're going. You have been elevated beyond their emotional reach. Your spirit has outgrown the cage they tried to keep you in. Their words cannot bind what God has liberated. Their disappointment cannot delay what God has ordained. Withdraw from the argument. Step back from the fire. Let them rage. Let them fume. But you, go into the secret place. Commune with the Spirit. Let divine peace flood your soul. Let heaven surround your mind. For while they engage in earthly drama, you are being trained for heavenly dominion. Your next move is silence. Your next response is prayer. Your next position is sacred observation. And in this stillness, you will see the salvation of the Lord. For they thought your silence meant surrender, but it means victory. If this word confirms what you've been discerning, and you feel led to support, consider giving a super thanks with a contribution of $10. Your support helps us create more spiritually empowering content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type "I am silently strong" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 4411 now shields your peace. You are not who you used to be. Hear this with fire in your bones and truth in your breath. You are no longer the scared child who once begged for peace. You are no longer that trembling soul hoping to be heard, desperate to be seen, sacrificing your truth for scraps of attention. That version of you has been crucified in silence and resurrected in strength. Archangel Michael announces over your spirit, you've grown. You've changed. You've been anointed. There was a time when you whispered your worth. Now you speak it without apology. There was a time when you tiptoed around egos to preserve false peace. Now you walk through their expectations like fire, untouched and unstoppable. What they once used to shame you no longer has power. What they once held over your head now rests beneath your feet. You've risen. You've remembered. And heaven is confirming. You have outgrown their illusion. They built a system around your silence. They thrived on your compliance. But you tasted truth now, and once truth touches the tongue, deception becomes bitter. They want you to go back to who you were. But that version no longer exists. You were never rebellious. You were never dramatic. You were awakening. And that awakening has shifted the entire dynamic. You are the cycle breaker. You are the one your bloodline prayed for without knowing your name. You carry the courage they lacked. You speak the words they were never allowed to say. You confront what they learned to accommodate. And because of that, you have become the disruptor of generational strongholds. They don't understand you because you are the answer to prayers they stopped believing in. Archangel Michael stands behind you, flaming sword drawn, and he whispers, "Let the fire refine you, not destroy you. Let their misunderstanding purify your purpose. Let their rejection elevate your calling. Let every you've changed become confirmation that you are finally aligned. This is not your downfall. It is your unveiling. You are not waiting to be loved. You already are. You are not seeking validation. You are walking in divine vindication. You do not need their applause when heaven is already standing. You are not an orphan. You are anointed. You are not abandoned. You are appointed. Every attack, every silent dismissal, every cold glance, every backhanded compliment, it has only revealed their fear of your freedom. They do not hate you. They fear the version of you that no longer bows to their brokenness. And that fear has become your signal. You are no longer in bondage. You are no longer programmable. Let their confusion be their own. Let their conversations fall to the ground. You are not here to be understood. You are here to shift spiritual atmospheres. You are the walking revelation that the curse ends with you. Archangel Michael declares, "Rise in strength. Rise in truth. Rise in the fullness of who you are. For you carry the fire of liberation, and it shall not be quenched." Type "I am the cycle breaker" in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 3939 is now igniting your strength. Listen now. The betrayal didn't break you, it birthed you. The conflict didn't curse you, it commissioned you. The heartbreak didn't halt your destiny, it unlocked it. Archangel Michael speaks with fire in his voice and thunder in his wings. This pain is a holy setup. What you thought was an attack was really an unveiling. What you felt as isolation was heaven's positioning. You were never forsaken. You were being hidden for a holy revealing. They didn't reject you. They redirected you. Their inability to receive you became the divine detour that kept you aligned. Every door they shut was a doorway to truth. Every no became an echo of God's higher yes. Their coldness didn't harden you. It refined you. Their distance didn't destroy you. It made room for destiny. Archangel Michael reveals now. The conflict has exposed what was buried beneath years of silence. You thought you were keeping the peace, but you were burying your calling beneath cultural customs and inherited fear. And now, finally, the seal has broken. And now, finally, the truth has erupted. And now that it's here, you cannot return. You are stepping into your prophetic assignment. The calling on your life is not ordinary. It was never meant to be hidden beneath family dynamics or dulled by social harmony. Your voice is a weapon. Your presence is a shift. Your obedience is a ripple through time and space. And now, the Spirit says, you must no longer apologize for your light. There is a door opening now, but it is coated in truth. No deception will pass through it. No manipulation will be permitted. The key is not charisma, not compliance, not family ties. The key is truth. And you, chosen one, carry it. Heaven is watching your next step. This decision is not about rebellion. It is about alignment. They will try to paint you as the divider, but heaven calls you the deliverer. They will accuse you of being too sensitive, too bold, too intense, but it's because they've grown comfortable with numbness. And your sensitivity exposes what they buried. Don't let their discomfort define your next move. Archangel Michael says, what they tried to hide from you, I now reveal. What they kept in silence, I now shout from the heavens. What they twisted in manipulation, I now untangle in clarity. You are not cursed, you are called. This season is not about pain. It is about positioning. This confrontation is not about who likes you. It is about who aligns with your mission. It is not about keeping ties. It is about keeping truth. The holy is rising. The sacred is speaking. And you, beloved one, are being handed the scroll of your next assignment. Read it. Receive it. Walk in it. If this message confirms what's been stirring inside of you, and you'd like to support us, consider giving a super thanks of $5. Your support helps us deliver more prophetic messages like this one. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am in alignment in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 6666 is activating divine doors. This is not just a moment. It is a divine appointment. This weekend is not just another date on the calendar. It is your activation point. The place where destiny and decision collide. The moment where heaven leans in and watches what you will choose, not out of pressure, but out of alignment. Archangel Michael stands beside you and says with urgency, heaven is calling you to move. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Now, you are being summoned, not invited. Summoned to rise. Summoned to release. Summoned to step out of inherited patterns and into divine pathways. This is the hour to declare, I choose truth over tradition. I choose destiny over dysfunction. Because what you agree with now will shape what you walk in next. The power of choice has returned to your hands. No longer bound by manipulation. No longer shackled by obligation. No longer entangled in cycles that mute your spirit. This is your permission to say no. No to what drains you. No to what silences you. No to what uses your loyalty as a leash. And in that no, there is a heavenly yes exploding through the gates of your future. You've been asking for clarity. This is it. You've been waiting for confirmation. This is it. You've been longing for peace. This is the pathway. Destiny does not wait for convenience. Purpose does not consult comfort. And the next season of your life requires a version of you that cannot coexist with compromise. Do not be deceived. This is not about people. This is about alignment. This is about assignment. This is about your name being pulled from the shadows into prophetic legacy. Your mantle is not up for negotiation. Your future is not for sale. Archangel Michael says, you are standing at a holy threshold. What you choose now will echo through your bloodline. This is your legacy shift. The breaking of soul ties that were never spiritual. The ending of contracts you never spiritually agreed to. You are not betraying your roots. You are birthing your fruit. And fruit doesn't grow in buried places. It grows in light. And light is truth. You will feel the resistance. The guilt may rise. The fear may whisper. But listen, not to your fears, not to their voices, but to your spirit. Your spirit is leaping. Your soul is vibrating. Because it knows. This is your release point. Say yes to the voice that's been rising within you. Say yes to the fire that's been flickering beneath your ribs. Say yes to the discomfort that signals transformation. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to your calling. Say yes to the you that heaven wrote into existence before you ever took your first breath. Do not fear losing them. Fear losing yourself. Do not fear being misunderstood. Fear being misaligned. You were not born to maintain false unity. You were born to carry divine authority. You were not created to shrink for the sake of harmony. You were called to shift atmospheres with your presence. And Archangel Michael says clearly, your legacy begins when you say no. Your future opens when you refuse the familiar. Your fire ignites when you honor your own knowing. You are the answer to prayers your ancestors whispered. And now, you must walk in it. This weekend is your activation point. Move with holy fire. Move with unwavering clarity. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them talk. But you, child of truth, you walk forward. Because heaven is behind you, angels go before you, and favor surrounds you. If this message has stirred your soul, and you'd like to sow into this prophetic word, consider giving a super thanks of $50. Your support is cherished and fuels the creation of more divine content. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am activated in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1111 is now releasing your next level. There are things happening that your eyes cannot see. Transactions in the spirit realm. Deals being cancelled. Curses being reversed. Inheritance is being released. And it's all happening, not in a room full of people, not in a place of noise, but in your silence. Archangel Michael declares with thunder in his voice, while you wrestled in silence, heaven negotiated restoration. You didn't scream. You didn't retaliate. You didn't defend yourself in public. You in quiet. You went inward. You let the tears speak. You let your prayers rise. And in doing so, you gave God permission to do what you could not. Heaven heard what they thought was hidden. Every lie they whispered. Every look they gave. Every motive they buried. Heaven saw it. And heaven kept the record. You are not crazy. You are not overly sensitive. You are spiritually awake. The unease you felt, that wasn't trauma, that was divine unrest. That was your spirit detecting the frequency of deception. That was your inner man warning you of spiritual interference. And now, beloved, the exchange is complete. Archangel Michael reveals, angels are trading betrayal for inheritance. What they tried to block is being returned. What they tried to hide is being exposed. What they tried to steal is being multiplied. While they plotted, heaven was preparing. While they misjudged you, heaven anointed you. While they abandoned you, heaven appointed you. The very moment you chose silence, you entered sacred territory. You became untouchable by their schemes. Because silence, when led by the Spirit, becomes a language that only heaven understands. And heaven responded. God moved in secret. Angels move in battle. And now, the shift has begun. This is the holy exchange, paying for prophecy, tears for territory, loss for legacy. You are not just walking away, you are walking into clarity, into freedom, into purpose. What was once blurry is becoming clear. What was once hidden is now being revealed. Heaven has not just recorded your pain, it has rewarded your obedience. For every time you held your tongue, a door opened in the Spirit. For every night you wept alone, a crown was forged in heaven. For every moment you stayed silent instead of explaining yourself, God raised your name before the courts of heaven. And now, you will see it. You will feel the shift. You will witness the unraveling. Their control is breaking. Their grip is loosening. Their masks are falling. Because what they tried to build in lies is collapsing under the weight of truth. You are stepping into inheritance. Not just material, but spiritual. The kind that cannot be taken. The kind that comes with divine authority. And the Spirit says, you have done well. You passed the test. And now you shall see what I kept hidden until your silence was complete. Let the silence remain sacred. Do not revisit what heaven has closed. Do not respond to what heaven has rebuked. Move on in victory. Move on in clarity. Because you are no longer bound. You are released. You are restored. Type I have been exchanged in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is securing your divine inheritance. The time has come. The verdict had been rendered in the courts of heaven. What man spoke in deception, heaven now overturns in truth. What was twisted to shame you is being unraveled in glory. Archangel Michael rises with his blade lifted high, and he declares with thunder in his wings, justice is already moving, and it is moving in your favor. They plotted in private. They whispered in corners. They masked control as concern. They covered dishonor with fake affection. But God saw it all, and heaven has judged it all. There is no more delay. What they meant for shame, God is turning into glory. What they said to break you is now being rewritten as testimony. Every word spoken in darkness is being exposed by light. Every manipulation that was used to bind you is being dismantled, link by link. This is your season of divine reversal. What they thought would destroy you has only delivered you. What they intended to minimize your voice has only magnified your mantle. What they did to humiliate you has only highlighted your holiness. The scales are tipping. The imbalance is ending. And God Himself is placing the crown upon your head that no man can remove. Archangel Michael speaks again. You'll be lifted while they wonder how. You'll rise while they recite their version of the story. And they will be silenced, not by your words but by your fruit. For heaven is about to make you a public sign of vindication. This is not vengeance. This is justice. This is the reversal of what was sown against you. Your silence was not passive. It was powerful. It allowed God to work where your words could not. And now, the winds are shifting. The same people who called you disloyal will now witness your favor. The same ones who questioned your obedience will now watch your elevation. The same mouths that criticized will now be closed, not by force, but by the evidence of what God is doing in your life. Do not gloat. Do not retaliate. Do not return to their level. Let justice speak. Let favor rise. Let heaven have the final word, because no light can stand when truth walks in the room. No curse can remain when a blessing has been declared, and no attack can prosper when God has decreed your protection. You will walk into rooms where you were once dismissed, and now be honored. You will stand in circles where you were once overlooked, and now be acknowledged. You will rise in the very place where they tried to bury you, because heaven always finishes what it begins, and heaven has begun something in you that cannot be stopped. Archangel Michael says, every dishonor is being reversed tenfold. Every tear is being turned into oil. Every betrayal is being replaced by elevation, and your vindication will be silent, but undeniable. You won't have to explain. You won't have to prove. You will simply walk in favor and let them witness it. This is the power of spiritual justice. It restores what was lost. It reclaims what was stolen. It rewrites what was lied about. And it does all this with dignity, not drama. You are not just a survivor. You are a sign that truth outlasts deception, a sign that God vindicates the righteous, a sign that divine justice never misses a target. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and walk in your rightful position. Heaven has ruled in your favor. The court is adjourned. The judgment is sealed, and the truth will stand when every false word falls. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2020 is now unlocking your divine recompense. Receive now your final blessing, not from man, not from memory, but from the mouth of the Most High through the voice of Archangel Michael. You are chosen. You are covered. You are called. This was never just about a decision. This was about a destiny shift. You stood when you could have bowed. You stayed silent when you could have defended. And heaven honors that. In this moment, may divine wisdom flood your thoughts. May it guide your silence and empower your voice. May the discernment that has carried you this far be sharpened like an arrow. You are not just walking away from a situation. You are walking into sacred positioning. You are standing in a divine yes that was formed before you were even formed in the womb. Archangel Michael now places a seal of truth upon your life. It is not visible to man, but it is unmistakable in the spirit. It is a mark that tells darkness, this one belongs to the light. It is a banner over your destiny, a symbol of divine ownership. You are no longer wandering. You are appointed. You are no longer explaining, you are executing. You are no longer questioning, you are confirmed. Whatever you release in faith, heaven will multiply in favor. Whatever you bless in obedience, God will expand. Whatever you walk away from in truth, heaven will replace in abundance. This is your affirmation. You are not alone. You are not forsaken. You are surrounded. Surrounded by angels, surrounded by grace, surrounded by the justice of God. Archangel Michael stands guard, not only over your life, but over your legacy. And nothing shall snatch you from the hand of God. Now rise. Rise in boldness. Rise in clarity. Rise in peace. For what you walked through was preparation for what you're about to walk into. The door is open. The blessing is activated. The seal is set. And you, beloved, anointed, chosen one, you are sent. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you receive this final blessing. Blessing code 5555 now rests upon your head and over your future.